going to discuss the present simple tense, which is a very common tense, especially when we talk about daily routines. Before we move to our details, let's look at the picture here and the conversation between two women. So one is telling another one, "My husband has such a simple routine on weekends. He wakes up, has breakfast, watches TV, has lunch, takes a nap, and eats dinner." Again, it's another funny illustration, and we have a lot of words here that are highlighted in red color, and those words indicate the usage of the present simple tense in the affirmative form. So let's move to our lesson and talk more about this tense. As I said before, the present simple in its affirmative form talks about permanent situations or events that regularly repeat or occur. For example, Jade works in the office. She sits at her desk and answers the phone. So the verbs works, sits, and answers represent the present simple form. Again, here, since we use the present simple form, we could say in other way, every day Jade works in the office. Every day she sits at her desk and answers the phone. Because the present simple talks about the regularly repeated situations. Let's check how is it formed. So the formation is a pretty simple one. When the subject is represented by the pronoun I, you, we, or they, we use the basic form of the verb. I work, you stay, we go, they see. My sister and I watch the news on television every evening at 6 p.m. And in this case, my sister and I could be changed or replaced by we. We watch. My children go to school by bus. Again, the subject is my children, or you can say they. Usually they get on the bus around 7 in the morning. I love coffee. Very often I start my day with a cup of freshly brewed Hawaiian coffee. So again, all these words start, love, get on, go, watch are used in its basic form because the subject is represented by the pronouns we, they, I. So when the subject is represented by the pronouns he, she, or it, in this case, the verb has an ending S. He works, she stays, it works. The alarm clock rings at 6:30 every morning. So why do we use the S form here at the end? Just because the alarm clock is basically it. So in other words, you can say it rings at 6:30 every morning. My English class begins at 8 a.m. every day. Again, my English class is it. So it begins at 8 a.m. every day. My father-in-law is a very healthy man. He never takes any medicine. We have some irregular verbs like have, do, and go. When you use the subject that is represented by the pronouns I, you, we, and they, nothing changes here. However, when the subject is he, she, or it, we will change have to has, do will change to does, and go will change to goes. He has, she does, it goes. I have a sister, Nancy. I go to work in a hospital and Nancy goes to work in a bank. I go, Nancy goes. Our family has a big car, but my neighbors have a small car. Our family has, my neighbors have. I do the dishes in the morning, and my husband does the dishes in the evening. I do, my husband does. And finally, we have a short story about Stephen. So let's read that story all together. Stephen has 3 classes in the morning. At 1 p.m., he finishes his classes and goes to the cafeteria. He eats lunch with his friends. After lunch, Stephen often studies in the library. His teachers always give a lot of homework. After that, he takes a bus to his cousin's garage. Stephen has a job there. He fixes cars in the afternoon. Stephen does a great job. And again, we talk about Stephen, and Stephen, in other words, is a pronoun he. Therefore, we use has, finishes, goes, eats, studies, takes, has, fixes, and does. And just one time, we have used the verb give because we have teachers, plural form, teachers, they give. So this is the end of our lesson today. Thank you so much, everybody, that you stayed with us. And as usually, stay tuned and wait for more videos from Highlands Community Charter and Technical Schools. Goodbye.